Asexualize my asexual life. How are you doing this fine day? This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book, available on Amazon. Check that out, Asexual Perspectives. So today's video, we're going to be discussing another mental health difficulty issue today, because it's Mental Health Awareness Week, and today I'm going to be discussing how to deal with your emotions. So one thing that's very, very difficult for a lot of people is dealing with emotions, and you get some people that are cool, calm, collected. They show absolutely no emotion whatsoever, and you might think that's a really good thing, to be controlled with your emotions and and to keep it all within you. But actually it's very unhealthy in the long term for the person who's doing this. And also, you don't want to be a person that doesn't show any emotion whatsoever, because as people, we are vibrant, energetic beings, and we have a variety of different expressions, and all the authenticity that you need to have in your life in order to be happy, be your true authentic self. You need to be emotional in some way. You need to express those emotions, whether that's anger, fear, resentment, hurt, pain, upset, love, compassion, honesty, right? But what we have to do is we have to realize there are negative emotions and there are positive emotions, right? And we shouldn't be suppressing either one of them, right? When we suppress these feelings and emotions is when we run into difficulties. So what we should do is practice the art of being in the moment with our own emotions, so that if we're upset and in pain, we express our upset and in pain. But this doesn't mean to go into a rage. This doesn't mean to say, you should start throwing things around the room or smashing things up. No, it means you express how you feel. Say, I'm feeling really angry now. I'm feeling really upset now. I'm feeling in pain right now. So you express it by how you say it. Right? You don't need to get nasty to people. You're not here to take things out on other people. That's not how you can, you constructively get your emotions out. You constructively get your emotions out by expressing how you feel. Like, I'm feeling really angry now because when this happened, I felt this way, right? So you're not blaming someone, but you're trying to say, when this happened, I felt like this, right? So be non-blaming towards others, but be very, very specific about what it is that caused you pain and upset, because without telling another person, they don't know and they cannot put it right. Okay, so we're not infallible. I cock up sometimes. Sometimes people are not so happy with me. I can't say they're angry with me, but they might think that there's something that's not always been great or something. So, I will try and listen to that and improve upon it. Doesn't mean to say that sometimes I might not find difficulty listening to that, And also you've got to assess if what other people say about you is actually true, if you believe it, right? Because what some people believe is a weakness is actually a strength. Other times I've had people say something to me and I know they're completely wrong in their judgment of me, and they shouldn't be assuming things and they shouldn't be being that way with me. And sometimes it's insecurity on other people's part as to how they're treating you, right? There's some people that are really nasty and they're treating you bad because they're insecure about themselves and their own life, I just saw an aromantic friend in a group post about the fact that, one of her family members was having a go at her basically because she likes to keep covered up. She'd rather not show her flesh, not show her body. Right, and it's like, that person's repressing themselves because they're not showing their body off, right? You need to do what's comfortable for you, right? And that is just a horrible thing to say to anyone. I did have this years ago with a work colleague, female work colleague. She was into guys, not women, but she said to me, I should show my body off more, and she couldn't see why I wanted to hide my body. But I probably show more of my body now than I used to in some ways, like in the fact that I wear a skirt. If I go out clubbing, I wear a short skirt, so my legs are showing. But you know what I mean? Overall, I really don't show that much flesh. I have guys fancying me in a tight t-shirt. And then he's falling off their bicycle and they go past, or even like guys in vans staring at me. I'm like, oh my God, I do have a brain, you know. And it's like, I'm covered up by my t-shirt's tight. So it's like, I really don't need that to attract guys, you know. You have to laugh at these things, because if you didn't laugh, you would cry at guys perving over you. Ugh. Anyway, moving on, I digress. So, but all this is emotion, right? And it's important to express the right emotion. It's important to decide as well if someone's projecting their insecurities and fears onto you, So if someone's not happy with the fact that you like covering up, it means they're not confident enough to be themselves, be in life, and not have flesh showing, right? Which means, to my mind, they probably think they need to show flesh in order to attract the opposite sex, in order to be attractive. But you really don't, right? I don't wear makeup hardly ever. On this channel, like, you see me without makeup all the time. Like, if I go clubbing, I wear a bit of makeup sometimes. Maybe if I go to my day job sometimes, I wear a little bit eyeshadow, something like that. But the majority of time, like, it's months and months where I haven't worn any makeup, right? I don't think I've worn any. I think I wore a little bit on my birthday or something like that, maybe a couple of times recently. I think once last Thursday, maybe I put a little bit on with my nice top. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, I go for weeks and often months without wearing no makeup, because I don't need makeup to look beautiful. I don't need to hide behind that, And so similarly, if I don't want to show my body, if I want to keep covered up, I'll keep covered up, because I don't need to show my body to be gorgeous and attractive and beautiful. Do you know what I mean? So you have to understand that some people as well, like, they can't go out without wearing makeup. It's like they can't show their true face because they're worried about what everyone thinks, right? When you can be your true, authentic self as you are, not care about what other people think and stuff them, as in it doesn't matter what they think, then you can be a lot happier. So one way of dealing with emotions is make sure that the emotion you're experiencing is something that's coming from you and is not a projection of someone else's insecurities and fears that's actually causing you to feel upset, right? Because we don't have to accept those insecurities and fears that are put on us by other people. We can just choose to, well, they've had their say, haven't they, whether we like it or not. We can just choose to turn away from that and to say, well, actually, I'm damn gorgeous, damn gorgeous. And so if they don't like it, tough, right? But yeah, and those, sometimes nasty comments, they do affect us, right? And what you need to do is you need to get this upset and pain out constructively. So this means crying, have a cry, sit there and cry. Be there and cry. Be at one with your emotions. Learn to be comfortable with both being happy and accepting the fact you'll be sad sometimes, and crying, and let your tears flow out of you like a river, so that it's passing through you. It's not actually staying within you, because the worst thing you can do is bottle up your emotions, because some people have it and it leads to aggression, and that's not what you want. Like, I've been hurt in the past, right, in relationships, but I would never turn to revenge or stuff like that, because that's not who I am. You do have choices in life, and if someone hurts and upsets you, yeah, you could decide if you wanted to take revenge. I mean, most people have kind of a horrible side within them if they want to let it out, but you can also choose to just think that, God, these people are sad, they're ignorant, they're close-minded, they're obviously insecure, and and rather than retaliate and say stuff back, just don't waste your energy on them. And, you might be upset. Just get the tears out. Get them out like a river out of your soul, because you don't want your soul to be ate up by this negativity. The more pain you can get out and just allow it to flow through you and be tearful, the better it is. So showing emotions is not a weakness. It's actually a strength. On this channel, I pour my heart and soul out sometimes. I cry in front of you sometimes, right? People can't do that all the time. They can't do it when they need to, right? But I know I'm being my true authentic self, right? And if I want to cry and I need to cry and I need to talk to you, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to stop my whole life just because I'm upset, because that would be wrong if I can't help you, you know. I'm here to help you, to serve you, to show you the truth. It's okay to cry, because some people go like, oh, she's crying again or whatever. I don't care what people think, right? Because I can cry and be upset and in pain, yet still be super, super strong at the same time. Super strong, right? And it's because I can cry and I can be my true authentic self and I can show that to the world. But yet people shouldn't mess with me, as in like treat me like dirt or a doormat. That I'm able to be both types of person in one, the really upset, emotional, hand on heart, open sleeve type of person, and that, hey, don't you treat me badly, because I will literally walk if that's what you're going to do, right? If you cannot treat me with respect and dignity and love, care, kindness, you know, and, you know, give me some attention in your life, then I'm out the door, because what's the point, right? So, you know, I'm a person now that can be very emotional, very sensitive, very kind and caring, very compassionate, very empathetic, can cry, you know, and be in pain, yet still know I'm going to get through it, come out the other side, and everything's going to be okay, and be stronger for it, and still not take people's rubbish, because people see crying as a sign of weakness, but it's not. And this is how some people try to control you. They try and make you upset on purpose to control you, because they think they're affecting you. Well, they may be temporarily affecting you, right? We can only be affected if we let people affect us, right? But if you're an emotional person like I am, people can affect you, right? So what you do is you accept that. You don't run away from it, and you're like, hey, okay, I might be a bit affected by this person. I might be crying right now, but you know, I'm getting this tears out the way, getting the negativity out the way, so that I can spend less time on it, so that I can be good again in my soul, so I don't bottle it up, you know? So crying is not a weakness, it's a strength. And when you can cry, but not allow people to take advantage of you at the same time, it's the best feeling in the world, because you got the best of both worlds, you know? You're not going to be narcissistic, because people who are narcissistic, they haven't got empathy, they haven't got sympathy, they don't really show emotion. They think they know everything. They think they're the best at everything. They think they don't have to say sorry to anyone, you know, and they're so egotistical, and, you know, it's just horrible. And I would rather be a person any day that shows sympathy, empathy, emotions, even if that's in tears, than be someone who's rigid, not empathetic, not sympathetic, can't connect to people. Because if you're not emotional, you can't connect to people. Human beings are driven by emotion first and foremost, right? And so if you're not actually an emotional person, you can't connect to people as well. I have the ability to connect to people because I'm emotional. And whilst it's difficult sometimes being a very emotional person, I'm getting better at that. I'm getting better at managing emotions from the point of view I'm allowing myself to cry more. Sometimes I just like burst into tears, and I'm like, it's okay, Sandra. It's all right. Just let the pain flood out, because it's temporary. It's not going to last forever, and it will go through you, and you'll be a better, more stronger person for it. So, you know, but don't be afraid to cry. Don't see it as a weakness. See it as a strength. Your strength is your emotions. You know, those people that can't show emotions, just think how weird that is. How they have lots of issues going on that they don't even realise. Because if you're so controlled that you're not even allowing yourself to express yourself to the fullest in the moment, that's an issue. It is an issue, right? So allow the negative emotions to come. If you are having them coming in, you don't want them in, but if you are having them come in, allow them to come through you and out the other side, right? And if just think of the tears like, you know, like the negativity coming in and out of you and flowing like a river, flowing like a stream. Some of the good ways of managing emotions, obviously talk to friends, family members, if they're supportive. To journal. That's a huge one. I find journaling so helps me. So I have a book. I've got one here actually. I made earlier. I've got one here called Can't Sleep Right Now. It's really good. And I do journaling here, so I write down a lot of stuff in here. I'm not going to show it you because it's very personal, but I write down stuff in here. And I don't usually write it at night. And most of the time I write it when I wake up in the day, or, you know, if I've got a lot on my mind, I'm feeling a bit upset maybe about something the night before, I write in the journal, right? And I find journaling really helps. It's a very constructive way of dealing with your emotions, is getting it out on paper, right? You know, you can scribble it down. No one's going to see it unless you want them to see it, right? It's your own personal stuff. Some people like to write stuff on paper, like all the negative emotions, and then they like to burn that piece of paper. Do not do this at home if it's a health hazard, right? But you know, some people like to put the emotions and to burn them. Other people like to write down the emotions, screw them up on a piece of paper and throw them in the bin, then put the garbage out, you know? There's different ways of dealing with it. Obviously, therapy, counselling, that type of thing is okay as well. Anything that just helps you process those emotions, right? And sometimes you might have a long period where you do feel out of control of your emotions. I was experiencing a lot of stress at work a while ago, and my emotions were very out of control to what I would have liked them to have been. But there was a lot going on, right? I'm coming through it now, you know, like, even though I've broken my ankle, I'm coming through it and things are a lot better now. But, you know, it's very, very difficult when you're actually doing something out of your comfort zone and things are just not going how you expected them to go. And, you know, it can turn your life upside down, really, but you've just got to remember to stay strong. I did have a dark day before Christmas, and that wasn't like me. I haven't had that for 8 years, you know. So that was very difficult for me. But, you know, life's got so much more better this year. It's only going to go from strength to strength. Remember, whenever there is shite, excuse my language, come your way, there'll be lots of good things around the corner. The more rubbish you have, the better your life's going to be. I always believe in that, and it's always true. So I think if I'm going through a lot of rubbish, which I have been through the last few months in quite a lot of ways, I think it's going to be so great that the rest of this year is going to be awesome. It's going to get better and better and better and better. So I'm going to be so happy. So yeah, you kind of have to go through negative and bad times in order to get to the good. Without the dark, there is no light. So there's always going to be some negative times in your life, some upsetting times, some painful times. Because you kind of have to go through those in order to get the good stuff. And that's what makes us stronger. It's not having an easy life, it's actually having challenges in our life. The people that have been challenged in our life are the ones that can deal with this pandemic better than other people, because we're prepared for rubbish to come our way. We're prepared that we have to be strong. We're prepared in our mind more. You know, we're prepared to have this type of life, you know, more. Not that I want this type of life, but we're prepared for it, you know. So people who are asexual, a lot of them, not me, I'm extrovert, but a lot of them, a lot of you are introverted, right? And so you're used to being indoors. You're used to that type of life, right? I'm an extrovert that's been living an introverted life for like the last year. It's okay. I'm used to it sometimes, but then it gets a bit much for me, you know, because I have introvert tendencies. But then I am an extrovert and I do need to talk to people. Sometimes I just wish I could pick up the phone to more people. You know, I do need interaction. I do need to be around people, because after so long it gets a bit like, oh, I just want to speak to people, you know. So we all have our own ways of being. We all have our own personalities. We all have our own, you know, things that are good for us. So do more and more of what makes you happy in life, because that's the biggest way of soothing your pain and of having less negative emotions, is to do what makes you happy, what feels positive to you, makes you feel good. I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. Create a happy list and list down 10 things that make you happy, and try and endeavour to do those 10 things, as many as possible of those, every single day of your life, over and over again, because you need to exercise your happy muscles, right? They don't get exercised by themselves, you know. Say positive emotions. Say positive emotions, like, I'm feeling great now, I'm feeling awesome now, I'm feeling beautiful now, I'm feeling so amazing, so alive, I love myself, all this stuff. So we want to be instilling positive self-talk towards ourselves, right? So positive Self-talk can help alleviate negative emotions and create more positive ones within us. So it's very, very important to foster positive emotions by watching inspirational videos, watching inspirational talks, or listening to them, reading inspirational books, taking notice of when other people are living a happy life. Is it a real life or is it a fake life, right? But the ones that that are enjoying their life, ask them what they're doing, what's their secret. But everyone's life is different, and what may make one person happy may not necessarily make you happy. So you have to find your happiness in your life. But speaking positively to yourself is really good. Stop the negative talk. Start saying how gorgeous and beautiful and intelligent and kind and caring you are. And know that if you're showing emotion, it's a good thing. The people who don't show it, they're like robots, right? And they are just hiding for who they really are. And they're not living their true authentic life. And we have to feel sorry for these people, right? Because to not live your true authentic life while you're on planet Earth and you've only got one life is very, very sad. It's best to be your true authentic self. Be who you truly are. Love yourself implicitly and say positive things to yourself. Journal. Let your emotions out and just be free. Every time you shed tears, but you still get back up again, you're still here to tell the tale, you're still here another day, shows how strong you are. Because the people that are showing no emotion, that you're just bottling all up, pretending to be something they're not, they're not even here as themselves in life. They're like really a mirage of their true self. Do you know what I mean? And we have to feel sorry for that because they've got one life and they're wasting it, not being their true authentic self, not being true to who they are, and it's difficult to be yourself in life sometimes. I'm not going to deny that. It's hard, but it's better to be your true authentic self and not care what anyone else says, thinks or does than to live a lie or to live a life that isn't really yours and not what you really want. Once you truly start living your life for yourself and who you want to be, you do start to feel better in yourself because you're like, hey, I matter, I count. And what you should never do is put your emotions in the hands of someone else, right? So you should never, ever give your emotions to someone else to let them control you, right? So you shouldn't depend on family members, friends, partner, counsellor to give you praise all the time. You've got to give yourself praise. You shouldn't rely on them to make you happy or to even care all the time. You've got to be there for yourself, Of course you want friends and family and people to care about you. What I'm trying to say is you should basically motivate yourself in life and be happy with who you are regardless of what they say. I mean, like I've had counsellors in the past that haven't been good. And if I listened so intently to what they say and didn't recognise my own value and worth, then it would be disastrous, And so it's very important that you recognise your own worth in life and that you don't rely on someone else's opinions to make you happy. Because you can't control what someone else does. You can't control what someone else thinks and feels. If a person's not serving you in your life anymore, if they're not being good to you, if they're not making you feel good, if they're making you feel bad or they're not caring about you anymore, or they've lost appreciation, like you can draw their attention to it. If they don't listen, you can leave. Might be difficult, but it's better to be on your own than it is to be with the wrong person or people around you. Surround yourself with people who care about you and love you for who you are and who will help you to feel good. But don't rely on them to make you feel good. Value yourself enough to love who you are, regardless of what anyone else says, thinks, or does, Like a lot of the time, for example, to doctors, it's sad, but we're just a number, right? And that's why I look after my own health a lot of the time. That's why I find a lot of natural products to take care of me. Because at the end of the day, I know that it's sad, but a lot of the time we are just numbers. But I accept that. I'm like, it's okay. It's not up to them to cure all my life problems. It's up to me to make myself happy, right? And that's why I look for natural health products. That's why I have natural health products. I'm always trying to sort my own health out because I know I can do a better job a lot of the time. Not all the time if it's life threatening, but do you know what I mean? they're not, they have their place. And obviously I got an x-ray at the hospital that proved I had a broken ankle. But, it's like I was meant to wear a boot. I can't wear the boot. It made, apart from I have to wear it out, it made my feet swell, ankles swell worse and bad, taking ibuprofen, paracetamol, I had to stop doing that because it was giving me spasms in my stomach, So it's kind of like all this stuff I have to sort out myself. It's no good me going backwards and forwards to the doctors, because I'm like, well, I can just look after myself, So, you have to go, I'm going to have to go back to speak to the doctor about my treatment, every so often. Of course I am. But I mean, I haven't worn the boot that I'm meant to wear, like the physio said to wear, for like the next couple of weeks. I haven't worn it because majority of the time, apart from if I go out, and that's been limited because I've had a friend come around helping me, And I decided, like, that day that I couldn't wear it, I sent some video footage and some photographs saying, look, it's making my feet swell, I'm not doing it. So I'm not going to sit there for the next 2 weeks doing something that another guy wants me to do because his ego says, basically, oh, you've got to do this because it's protocol. No. It's like, I've told you it's not good for me. I ain't doing it, right? So you have to make decisions yourself in life about what's good for you. Because if you don't, you put your emotions all the time in other people's hands and you allow them to control you, right? So the more decisions you make for yourself, the more independent things you decide for yourself, the more you allow yourself to be free and make decisions for yourself, and then trust those decisions and monitor outcome. The more you get outcomes that are good and right, the more you'll trust yourself, the more you'll foster positive emotions within yourself, the happier you'll be, right? Because it's all about trusting yourself even when other people don't necessarily believe or trust you themselves, or trust in you, or believe in you, or show caring and kindness. You have to have it from within you. It has to come from within you. Right? So my friends, they can get really busy sometimes. They can't always spend time with me. They can't be here for me 24/7, right? That would be wrong to even me to think that. So I have to be able to take care of myself. I have to be able to keep myself happy. And when I'm sad, I have to be able to comfort myself. There is no one else here, right? I live on my own. That's it. When I'm sad, unless there's a friend around, I've got to just get on with it. Cry, get it out, feel the pain, release. Cry, get it out, feel the pain, release. Release the pain, release the pain. Right? This is the best way to do it. And those people who say you're weak, it's not you who's weak, it's those who are weak for saying that you're weak. Because it shows great strength of character when you can wear your heart on your sleeve, you can be open to the world, you can express your emotions, yet you can still be super strong and not take their rubbish at the same time. Right? I believe in you. I love you. I think you're incredible. And if you're an emotional person, here's to the emotional people in the world. I love you dearly. You're like me. I'm never going to not be emotional because I don't appreciate people not showing emotion. I don't appreciate people that are like robots. I don't appreciate people who are not telling me the truth because I can see it in their eyes, their mannerisms, their tone. That's how I'm able to find people who scam online a lot because, I can just feel their text, the tone of their text. And if a guy's not going to be empathetic or sympathetic, and he's not going to say sorry or think he's better than me or anyone else, then I know he's going to be narcissistic. So it's being able to be emotionally intelligent, Emotional intelligence is underrated and undervalued, but it's one of the best skills you can have in your life. In order to have emotional intelligence, you have to be an emotional person because you have to be able to connect to people emotionally and to understand how important it is to express emotions and understand the ways it's important to express emotions constructively and understand people on an emotional level. The people that don't want to open their heart to you, they will remain closed and you won't be able to get close to them and you won't be able to feel their emotion. But, for me personally, if you're in a relationship or you want to be in a relationship, you've got to be able to feel that person's heart right in front of you. You've got to have the gates of both your heart open, and that's really vulnerable, right? Really vulnerable. All the while practicing self-love and knowing that if this person treats you badly, you have the ability to walk away at any time. You give them, obviously, your opportunity to put things right, but you have the ability to walk away if you need to, right? So you be honest, open, but able to walk away. the reason I'm able to walk away a lot more now is because I've trained myself. Actually doing dating and relationships, it's been really tough over the last 7 years. As you know, since 2014, we're in 2021 now. Really difficult. I've been through a lot of heartache and pain trying to find my soulmate, and it's been really hard ride. But every time I get rejected or every time I have to move on, it just makes me stronger because it makes me less attached to that person, which is a good thing because I don't want to get attached too much. But then you have to get attached somewhat in a certain sense because, you know, you're bound to get attached in relationships, really. You can't say there's not any attachment there. I know in theory you're supposed to be like practically out of detachment and not be attached at all, but really you're going to have some attachment there, usually. The majority of people do, right? But so long as that's healthy attachment and you've got your boundaries in place and you're still wanting to keep that respect and you're still, you're still like, fostering your positive emotions yourself, you're still like consciously aware if this person becomes not a good person, you can leave them, that type of thing, it's very, very important. And, I'm proud of myself for all the heartache and pain I've gone through for 7 years. I know in my asexual groups, people have been saying, my dating groups, that I'm inspiring to them because I never give up. And it is tough, there's so many people that give up, but I just can't. If relationships are something that's very important to me. Having a romantic relationship without sex is really super important to me. It's one of the things I want to achieve in my life. It's like a dream, a goal, ambition, if you like, even though I really love being single as well. Sometimes it's a bit conflicting now, but if I find the right guy, then it'll be worth being in a relationship. It'll be worth giving up my single life for. If I don't, I'll stay single forever, obviously. Either is good with me, but, it does get a bit annoying, keep looking for a guy, because it's like... Most of them are not going to be the right ones, people. Most people are not compatible with each other. That's the damn truth, right? It's hard enough for heteronormative people to find a relationship. It's even harder for asexuals, but it's not impossible. Remember, the word impossible says I'm possible. Always remember that. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that great big bell icon so you get notified of every time I post a new video. I love you dearly. I hope this has helped you. Love to hear your comments. As always, pop them down below. YouTube is deleting some of my comments, by the way, that I'm getting from you. I'm really sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about it. But no, I do read your comments through email anyway, even if they don't carry on appearing in the YouTube comments. I love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Lots of love. Take care. Bye.